Hi, this is Jessica Fox from Florida Virtual Bookkeeper. I joined Pure Bookkeeping in July 2019, and I have found it to be a very valuable and much needed resource for my business. And I wanted to take some time to share some of the highlights of things that I did not expect that I was going to get when I made my investment. The Pure Bookkeeping system is very comprehensive. It has everything that you need regardless of where you are in your journey. Whether you are starting up a brand new practice and need help with setting up your business and your back office, so to speak, setting up that foundation that you need. If you've already had a practice but you need some help with growing, getting new clients, marketing, you have resources for that. Whether you have already been working in your practice for a while, but you haven't been able to scale because you haven't had any systems or workflows to help you work efficiently. Whether you are in a position where you have been growing and have reached a point where you need to hire, but haven't been able to hire effectively, or have been too scared to hire because you do not have the tools to qualify your candidates to make sure that you are hiring the right team. Uh, Whether you need to just have the support needed at any stage of your business journey, on any aspect of your business journey. These are all things that Pure Bookkeeping can help with. Now, the system is very comprehensive. As you can see, there is a lot that you get for your investment. And when I saw this chart, I was like, yeah, that looks nice. It's a wallet tax. It makes no sense to me. What's in it for me? And what's in it for you will vary depending on the specific pain points that you're having right now building your bookkeeping practice, what your specific goals are, where are your bottlenecks. But I feel pretty confident to say that there's something for everybody, very, very valuable. And I will go into a little brief overview and more detail of these things in a moment. But one of the things that I wanted to share that I did not anticipate when I made the decision to become a Pure Bookkeeping licensee was the community component of it. Yes, I saw that it was advertised, but I did not realize just how valuable that component is, because I have a virtual practice, so it can be isolating. While I am a member of a lot of Facebook groups and I do have virtual coffee chats with other bookkeepers, I had not found that missing piece that I found with Pure Bookkeeping, mainly in the weekly group mentoring sessions. This is a really valuable thing. I have joined support communities by other thought leaders in the community, which costs more per month than what my monthly licensing fee is, and I did not get anywhere near as much out of it as I do out of these Friday chats. Even if I don't have any questions, I just join to listen, and I pick up so much valuable information from listening to other licensees, what their concerns and challenges are. And sometimes it's just making that human connection, because I'm stuck at home usually just working on my own. So being able to have those conversations can do wonders for my mindset and my productivity afterwards. And the good thing about it is that you can talk about anything about your business, any sort of questions. You need help with your social media profile. What app do you recommend for this type of industry? If you have an issue with a specific client, if you have a question about how to effectively market your website, how to talk to a prospect, value pricing, there's never two calls that are the same. And they are all so helpful and valuable. There's also the monthly community call. This is more of like a webinar format rather than a call. There is usually a theme to every month, and they're all different, and they all give a golden nugget every single time. Golden nuggets are those valuable wisdom tips that you did not know you needed until you got them. So what I've seen so far is that there will be a licensee that's featured, and they will discuss a little bit of their journey and give some valuable information. And it could be about coaching, it could be about value pricing, but they're all very good. And there is also an exclusive Facebook group. And at first I thought, oh yeah, that sounds nice, just another Facebook group to join. I am in dozens of bookkeeping Facebook groups, and they're all very valuable in their own way. However, one of the challenges that I found is when posting a question into one of the public Facebook groups, you get all sorts of answers. People are helpful, they mean well, but not everybody may be giving you an answer that's best practice, that is correct. So by having a group that is just for licensees, while it's not as busy, I have found that I can rely better on the information that is shared there than I can in some of the other sources that I have looked at. So I do want to give a quick walkthrough into what you get when you sign up. One of the things that I really like about Pure Bookkeeping that other systems do not give is when I have purchased other systems, I submit my credit card, the purchase went through, I get the email saying, here's your stuff. And that's it. I'm just supposed to run with it and figure it out on my own. In here with Pure Bookkeeping, I felt very supported from the very beginning because you get a coaching call, like a kickoff call, where on one-on-one, you get to discuss where your practice is, where are you in your journey? What are your goals? What are the things that you need more help with? So give you the clarity on how to better implement the system. One of the things to keep in mind is that this is not a business in a box where you just pay for it and set it and forget it. No, this is not going to be the investment for that. It will require sweat equity, but it's very worth it because it will maximize your effectiveness and save you time. I had been in business for years before I joined Pure Bookkeeping, and one of the reasons why I decided to finally make the leap was because I had to realize that my time is valuable, and I was wasting a lot of time creating systems and workflows from scratch. Yes, I was doing really good at it, but it's time consuming. And I always was wondering, is this the best way? Is this truly best practice? So by investing in this system, I was able to save myself all of that time, all of that process of reinventing the wheel, and no longer second guessing, because I know that, yes, this has been tested and proven by hundreds of other bookkeepers. It is reliable, it is scalable, and it is consistent. So once you first join, you get to log on and you see PB Central, which has the little community wall. There may be some funny posts or some inspirational quotes, or there may be introductions from other members. But as you see, there's headers with lots of information. And when you click on any of them, there is a wealth of information. So many hundreds of pages of things. It can be overwhelming. And this is why I had said earlier, with other systems, you just get a login, here's the system, figure it out. In here, you get more guidance and you can take it at your own pace. What I love and what I would encourage you to do is you start with the guided implementation program. That way, you essentially start at the beginning and you can build up on it. And it walks you through what you should do, setting up your profile so that you can interact with the community, joining the Facebook group, the inner circle that I was referring to. Take a tour so that you are familiar with how the platform works, so that you know how to find things. There is an online training program that will walk you through the steps of becoming certified. And during the certification process, you're essentially going through the manual, learning everything that you need to do to properly implement the system. Once you reach that step, then you work on implementing the system in your business. So once you get that done, then you can move on to all the other things, the sales and marketing, the human resources. There is a lot of information, and I will tell you, if you try to ingest it all at once, it will be overwhelming. So this is not something that you just pay and take it and move on. You will want to set the time over a period of weeks or months to digest it, process it, make it part of what you do. So when I decided to join as a licensee, one of the first things that I did before I even, pulled the trigger, so to speak, was I looked at my calendar and I carved out time every week. I think I have originally carved out 3 hours to work my way through everything. I have been a licensee for 4 months and I have not yet gone through everything, but I have gotten through enough that I am already reaping a lot of rewards, and the system is already well on its way for paying for itself. So you definitely, provided that you invest the sweat equity that I was mentioning, you will get a return on your investment. But you get as much out of it as you put into it. So let's say that you chose to specialize in QuickBooks Online. There is a manual specific for that. There is one for QuickBooks Desktop. There is for Xero, depending on what software that you use, the resources are there. And this system assumes that you know the basics of accounting. So once you join and you log on, you're not going to be learning about debits and credits, because if you started a bookkeeping firm already, you should know these basics. You should also know the basics of how to navigate the software. So hopefully you have been certified in the software if that program is offered. But then you are learning the best practices, things that the certification for the software does not usually cover, because the certification makes sure that you know how to use the software, but it doesn't make sure that you know best practice bookkeeping. And this is very important because it's what will set your business apart from everybody else. One of the things that I notice a lot when I get a new client that had a prior bookkeeping, the client thought their books were great, but when I go in and take a look and realize there's a lot of things that are in need of attention because the prior bookkeeper did not follow best practice bookkeeping. Things got ignored. They may have focused on the bank account and the credit card, those are reconciled, but the rest of the balance sheet may be a mess. So this manual and the training program makes sure that you understand why these things are important, understand how it's supposed to be done, and it gives you all of the steps that you need. And it's all broken down into bite-sized pieces. So if you're very busy, it's not hard to work through this little by little. Like I said, I have been a licensee for a few months and I am still working my way through some of the things. And the way that I do is I have in my to-do list to get through at least one page per day, because it doesn't take very long to do that. I can read one page in about a minute. So if I have time, I may read 15 pages. If I am too busy, I may only read one, but I am making progress to it. And this is something that is part of your commitment to growing your business. As part of your commitment to your business, you need to be nurturing it. And that's why it's important to make sure that you are taking the time to integrate everything. So as you can see, everything is very detailed. It's very comprehensive. One of the things that I noticed that I really liked and impressed me is that other bookkeeping systems focus just on bank reconciliation and credit card reconciliations. They may talk briefly about accounts receivable and accounts payable, but things that are also important, depending on the clients that you work with, could be things like payroll tax and sales tax. And I find that there's a lot of stuff about that that people just don't know. So one of the things that I like about the pure bookkeeping system here is that there is a section that covers the essentials of sales tax, and I have the workflows and the templates to make sure that I can consistently and accurately complete this for my clients. Same with payroll tax. This is also something that is very overlooked, especially nowadays. We are used to outsourcing the payroll to some company and trust that they are doing what they need to do, and you just connect it to the software and don't think about it twice. It's not that simple. You do want to make sure that there are quality controls so that you can ensure that your client's books are accurate and reflect properly their payroll tax liabilities. That is all included in here. And I loved it because it's one of the systems that I did not have. I had not had time to create those after 2 years of working every week creating systems. It was all done for me. Year end. It's amazing how many other programs completely omit that. How to make sure that you are aligning the books to the tax return. That is all covered in here. Not only do you get the manual, but you get the templates that you need to be able to implement all of this. You have the chart of accounts. So if you're creating new books, you have an import ready chart of accounts to use. You have checklists for reconciliations, for payroll tax, for sales tax, for year end, for everything that you need. It's in there. And I'm just going to show you a quick sample of what one of these checklists would look like. They are all in Excel. So if you do not have a workflow app, you do not need one. You can just start using this. But if you do have a workflow app, it's not hard to get this to fit into whatever system you currently have. For example, I use 17 hats. I was able to take all of these checklists and put it into 17 hats and use them right away. No real disruption to my work. And if you use Jetpack Workflow, you can get all of these templates ready to import. So you can hit the ground running right away. Other apps like Carbon, etc., the same thing. Now, there's also a section about remote bookkeeping. These are more of the general practice things that we have a lot of questions about nowadays. I see it a lot on the Facebook groups. There's so many apps. What are the best apps? What are the best procedures on using these apps? As you can see, there are a lot of apps that are already covered and included in here so that you have lots of choices and learn how to implement them if you determine that that's the right app for you. And something that I've noticed since I joined is that this is a living document that is always evolving. New information is added regularly. New apps are being implemented. So if you don't see something in here, it's probably in the works. And it has all been very helpful because sometimes you may hear about, oh, this app is good, but you don't understand why is it good, or what are the pros, what are the cons, what is the best way to implement it. That is all information that you can have accessible in here, and then you can, if you have further questions, you can take the discussion to the Facebook group or get additional feedback and advice when you join the weekly mentoring calls. So there's a lot of valuable information there. This section also has templates available. So there is a lot that you can get from it. You even have templates that can help you track the implementation of the system because there's a lot of moving parts and it's easy to get overwhelmed. Checklists are your friend. This can walk you through the process. You don't need to do it all overnight unless you choose to. And you can also have checklists on how to implement it for new and existing clients. Then you also, common things, sales and marketing, especially if you are you have a new practice or you need to grow your practice, there is a lot of information in here. There are things talking about your branding, your website, about how to reach out different marketing methods. You even get some templates that you can use. So if you're having a presentation with tax accountants, you know, a lot of people say, oh, a great way to get new clients is contact the accountants in your area. Sounds great, but how do you do that? You get all the tips. You even get like what to say when you call them on the phone. You get templates telling you how to do a presentation, how to follow up, everything that you need. A lot of very valuable information. As you see, I keep opening menus and new submenus show up. There is just that much information in here that you can take actionable steps that have been tested and proven to work, and that you can just modify and implement it. So there's a whole section of templates for your sales and marketing. So I'm just going to show you some samples in here once it loads. You have so much to get through that it's a really valuable wealth of information. You have templates, some emails to send, a PowerPoint template. So all you need to do is add your branding and you're ready to go. You don't need to create the slide deck from scratch. You can have all of the business plan information for your clients, because probably one of the things that you'll do once you join Pure Bookkeeping is realize you've been undercharging and you need to raise your rates. Well, here are your templates on how to raise your rates, how to implement engagement letters if you don't have one or if they may be lacking in some way, new clients, how to get all of the details, their information, the checklist to make sure that you have everything, how to deal with prospects, and even a freebie that you can do as a content value add to attract new clients. There is a lot. If you're at this stage where you are at the max capacity and need to expand and grow, you also get access to the human resources information. And you, once again, it's very comprehensive. It goes over how to advertise, what the ad should say, things like how to review your candidates, how to do the assessments, how to do the interview. And look how it just keeps growing and expanding. There is a lot to make sure that you are empowered to hire properly. And this is really good here. You actually get to information on how to test the skills of your candidate to make sure that you're hiring somebody that truly knows what they're doing. Because it's very easy to say, oh yes, I know bookkeeping because I've done it for a while, but they may not have been doing it right. Or they may not have the full picture of what full cycle bookkeeping entails. It's not hard to get certified in the software and not really know how to use it on the day-to-day basis. So here you get everything that you need to grow your team in such a way that you will be pleased with the results. It will save you the trial and error of hiring the wrong person. And it's very comprehensive. But once you hire, if you already had staff, you get the HR handbook. So that saves you a lot of time right there. This is not easy to put together. If you were writing this from scratch, it will take you a lot of time. But here you have everything that you need. You can then take it, review it, tweak it as needed. And you even get information on how to pass off your clients to your staff, because that transition can be scary. Once again, you get templates for human resources. You get everything that you need for the skills test that I was talking about. Say it's somebody for QBO, you get that information there. If it's QuickBooks Desktop, you even get the QuickBooks file to actually test them with. A lot of valuable resources that it will save you so much time and help you focus on what's truly important about your business, which is working on closing the deals, on delivering 5-star services, maintaining that wow factor to really set yourself apart and excel. And if you are too busy to join the monthly community call, I love that I can go back here and watch them in the webinar section. And you can go back and see calls from before you've even joined because they all have so much valuable information. So there is really a lot more to Pure Bookkeeping than meets the eye. I was really blown away by how much I got when I signed up, because it can be kind of abstract at first. There is something for everybody. So regardless of where you are in your journey, there will be something valuable. And what I love the most is that if something doesn't make sense, doesn't look right, or you're just a little lost, there is help available. Every page that you're in has a forum. Every section has a forum. You can write comments at the bottom to submit feedback. In my experience, somebody has always replied in less than 24 hours. Right here, you can start a conversation and get help and personalized guidance, which is so incredibly helpful because it does take a village, you know, and it's great to be supported not just by a team that cares about your success, but by other licensees that are going through some of the same challenges that you have in the past. And you can learn from your experience, you can support each other and learn from each other. So I hope that this is helpful, because I think I would have purchased a lot sooner had I seen some of these things. I mean, even if I essentially had signed up just for some templates, and I got so much more. There is so much that you can download and implement. So regardless of where you are in your journey, this can be valuable. I hope that this is helpful, and if you have any questions, I am only an email away.